What's up, everyone? Dr. Nate here. Today we're going to talk about the biggest lies that you tell yourself that are holding you back from being everything that you can be. Andrew, let's
So the last video, if you guys were just watching from the last one, welcome. If you have not seen it, you can go back to our channel and you hit the link before. So basically we were talking about kind of like personal trainers and whatnot, but we went on to this little tangent about talking about just like the biggest lie people tell themselves is like telling them they're not enough, or like I can't do this, or even like just like when is the best time to be ready. That was literally one of my questions as I was practicing to be a personal trainer, which if you've seen this, I'm taking my test tomorrow, don't worry, I'll pass it. But basically one of the questions was like, what is the biggest lie people tell themselves? And it is there was like a couple options. I don't know what they were like verbatim, but basically it was like, I don't have enough time. Like I don't have enough time, and the reason behind I don't have enough time is just because like you're just not like motivated. Like people don't have like a specific motivation to do something. So like, what are your thoughts on just as like that in general? Like, have you heard that before? Like, I don't have enough time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny you bring this up because I was just going through Facebook in the morning, and one of my friends on there who's a mentor, I don't know if he knows he's one of my mentors, but Anthony Maritato, shout out. He has check out his total knee replacement support group if you have total knee replacement or somebody in your family does, because he has a Facebook group and a YouTube channel. He's just killing it. He has a practice also, and yeah, just a great guy. So Tony, you're the man. But anyways, he just reminded me of something today. And he essentially, he was just talking about how people say that, right? Like, I don't have enough time. I just don't have time to do this. And sometimes that's true, right? Usually when people don't have time, it can mean that like their schedule is so stacked that they literally don't have, or they're not making the time for certain things that are going to be good for their health. So I'll give you an example. Past 2 months, my workouts have not been great. My sleep has been off. And I noticed that last week. And I was I was telling myself like, oh, I just don't have time. But the reality was I was filling my time with too many things that were not a priority. So it was a lack of prioritization. Now that's some people. It's not everybody, but that is some people. So I don't have time, I think, is a legitimate problem. I won't say an excuse. It's a legitimate problem if you've overstacked your schedule. So in that case, you might have to remove a couple things or learn to manage those things a little bit better. So that can be addressed. Sometimes, though, I don't have time or it's too expensive is an excuse. And it's an excuse of this person might be lying to themselves that, well, I've tried it before. This sounds very similar to what I've tried before. Why should I pay all this money just to have the same result, which is failure? Right? So that's usually if they're like, oh, nah, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. Oftentimes
there's ways around finances.
Yeah, there are there are many different ways, but I can't afford it, it's too expensive, oftentimes is more of if you really dig into those problems, it's more of like, well, I don't see how this offer is the solution for what I'm looking for. So first you have to find like, what is it that, like, what do you want? Like, you have to find out what the person wants, like deeply wants, before you can even really make an offer. Because if you're offering them something, but it's not what they want, then it's never, it doesn't matter if your product is $2, they're not going to buy it. Like I've done that before, where I'm on a call with somebody and I keep dropping the price down to like a ridiculously low number, and they still don't go for it.
Wow.
Right. So it wasn't
it
wasn't the money.
It wasn't the money. It was just the person.
Yeah. No, there are definitely financial hardships that people go through, and sometimes something is too much money. But more often than not, it's that the offer itself or the product was not appealing to whatever desire that person had for themselves. It's like
Or-
sales 101.
Yeah, or it's something I realized too is like when people say they don't have enough time,
Yeah.
like it's not really like basically them saying I don't have enough time is an excuse in itself for saying that like they don't think they're enough. Like
Yeah, like it could be they don't think they're enough.
or they're not ready.
It
Like
can be and
like they're just like they haven't had that like kind of like contemplation
correct.
kinda like
The stages of decision making,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Or stages of change. Yeah, and then the last thing we were talking about in the last video was just the fear of failure, right? This is a big thing that people aren't willing to take a chance on themselves because they're afraid that if they spend the money and then they fail, they'll feel like an idiot because maybe they're not the breadwinner in the relationship. Maybe they have asked to spend money on things before for their own health, and their spouse made them feel like belittled over it. Like, oh, we're going to spend more money again. It's just not going to work again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that go into it. So sometimes, that person doesn't have a supportive partner that will even allow them to do that. So that's a conversation that should be had very early.
A lot of people are afraid of like kind of like their ego too, because a lot of people think like, oh, like, if I do this, then these people are going to look at me in a different way. But in itself, like that doesn't really exist. Whatever you believe is what you believe. If you believe you have an ego, it's going to be there, but your ego isn't going to control you. You're in control of yourself. So those people saying I don't have time, or like I don't have the money, or I don't have this, I don't have that, like they just are kind of stuck in a rut and just like trying to get out there. What would you kind of tell people to like people who are stuck, like let's say they haven't really sat down with themselves to actually figure out like, okay, how am I feeling? Like, am I okay? Do I need help? Like, do I really want this for myself? And what would you kind of like recommend to people out there who are stuck and think they don't have enough time, or just don't want to kind of like push it because they don't really want it? Like, what's something that you would do to like kind of help them, push them in the right direction, give them like a little boost of encouragement? Like it's like a kid sitting at the edge of a diving board.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I have no patience. I'll push the kid and be like, oh, you did it, great, let's do it again. But like kind of laugh about it so he's not afraid. But like kind of these people need like a metaphor, like kind of like push to get them started in the right direction. What would your push be?
I mean, it's going to be different for each person, but two things come to mind. Number one is all of your life experiences, somebody else has had them and is doing what you want to do. In every scenario, there's 8 billion people on this planet.
Wow.
There's a 0% chance that
somebody didn't go exactly.
that somebody didn't go through more or less your exact path. Maybe the names were different of the people. Maybe the timing was different. Maybe you were a little older or a little younger. But ultimately, I bet we could probably pair someone with an exact similar life story with a few details changed. Right?
Wow.
I mean, that's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
And even still, like the emotions that occur from different life experiences are the same. Like even if the events aren't the same, what we feel is still the same. So we can still resonate. We can still resonate with another human being, even if they have a X happened over here and Y happened over here, but we both felt the same. You can relate to each other that way.
What's the second thing you would kind of help kind of push them in the right direction?
The second thing is that I was going to say you only live once, but life is short.
Yeah.
It really is. And, we put things off that we know are good for us because we're afraid of it. And I understand being afraid. Like I was afraid to do a lot of things when I was growing up. And, there is help out there for you, like for people who can help you be more assertive, like actually assertiveness training. And there are people that can help you be more reflective. Like there are people out there who can help others develop the skills needed to take that step, because sometimes you need to develop those skills. And that's a hard process to do on your own. So, some people can do it on their own. Many others will need help. I don't think it's, I think in most things, we are going to need to rely on someone else at some point. Anybody who's ever started a successful business, anybody who's ever been successful in their career, anybody who has ever had any success has not done it on their own. Like, that's why I always laugh at these like songs of people saying they did it by themselves, or people, or you see people on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, just like flaunting everything that they have and saying they did it on their own. They're they're self-made. It's like, well, no, you're not. Like, everybody had a lot of help in some way or another. Your circumstances might have been challenging and more challenging than most.
There's no way you did that alone.
No one does it alone. It's not possible. Like we talked about before, humans are social beings.
We're not meant to be alone.
We're not meant to be alone. Totally. Isolation is one of the worst things that humans like can experience.
Yeah.
So it's I think that's just recognizing that like life is short, and accept it, like meditate on it, like you will die one day and like meditate on that. And if you were to be in your last day, would you be happy with where your life is right now? And if that's not the case, then there is a chance that you can change it. But that might require getting the help that you need, and even just considering that you need help. Some people will say, well, I don't need help, or I'll be fine. It's like, okay.
Everybody needs help.
Everybody needs help. I need help.
I need help too. Well, if you need help, you know exactly who to call. But if you guys need anything, definitely feel free to reach out personally. By the time you see this, I should be a personal trainer, fingers crossed. But also, if you need to reach out to Nate about just, how to get pushed in the right direction, how to get started, definitely just reach out. You can reach out personally. You don't have to leave a comment publicly. You can reach out, email, text, call, whatever you want.
And we do have a health coach on staff now too, Alyssa.
Yeah.
She can certainly help with some of those self-limiting beliefs that you might be having as well, because those are challenging. So those are the types of things that she can help with. So we have those services too.
So thank you guys for watching, and feel free to contact us whenever you guys would like. You want to leave any last remarks?
YOLO. No, but in all seriousness, I do believe that life is too short to just be normal and average. I think that each person has some unique talent that they can bring to the world, and that just means, and if we all brought our unique talents that we were passionate about, I think that, man, the world would be such a better place, such a better place. So you owe it to yourself and to the rest of humanity. And maybe if that's too big of a concept, to your family, to your friends, and to yourself, to explore everything that you can be versus than what you are right now. So go out, seek the help you need, and get after it.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time.